Hi, my name's Jeff, and today I'd like to show you how to do the replacement of a defrost thermostat switch on a Santa Fe Max Dry or Santa Fe Impact dehumidifier. For this repair, we're going to need some tools. We are going to need a 5/16 socket, a 1/4 inch socket, a Phillips head, a flathead, and a needle nose pliers. You can either use hand tools or with a drill to make it faster. Before any repair, we want to make sure we unplug the unit for safety purposes. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want to do in the repair is remove this access panel for the electrical box. We want to do that by taking out these 4 screws, and we want to take off this humidity controller knob. For the humidity controller knob, we just use a flathead screwdriver, put it behind it, twist it a little bit, and that'll pull right off. And I'm going to go ahead and use a drill with a 5/16 bit on it to help this go faster. And then we just go ahead and remove the panel. The next step in this repair is going to be removing this back panel. First thing we want to do is make sure that your shipping strap has been removed. Then we want to remove 10 screws. We have 2 here by the control panel, 2 on each side of the panel, and 4 on the top. I'm going to use a 5/16 socket driver on a drill to make this faster. Now that we have the screws out, I'm going to go ahead and grab the top of the panel and pull towards you. That'll release the panel. The cord will have to be put through the electrical panel access, and then just go ahead and set it off to the side. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the defrost thermostat switch. To do this, we'll need to remove the fan, the top of the compressor, and the humidity controller knob. I'm going to start out with the humidity controller knob. That'll be a Phillips head screwdriver or drill bit. Once you have those screws removed, just go ahead and push the knob back, slide it out to the side, and we'll let it be there for now. Next step I'm going to do is go ahead and open up these wires by snipping the zip ties. And then removing this. There's another zip tie. We also will need to remove this little P-clamp on the side here. That is a 5/16 socket. We'll also need to remove this guard. There's 2 wing nuts at the top. Just go ahead and remove those. Once those are removed, we just want to go ahead and slide the plate forward and lift up. Now we'll need to take off the top of the compressor. For that, a 5/16 socket driver works well. Remove the wire and pull the cap off. Now we'll go ahead and go to the fan. In order to remove the fan, I'll need to use an extension and a 5/16 bit. There's 4 screws, 1 in each corner. Be very careful, the fan blade is sharp. Once you have all 4 screws removed, go ahead and slide this grommet out, take the fan out, and just go ahead and set it in front of the unit. Now that we have that off, we can gain access to the defrost thermostat switch, which is located in the back here, usually covered by this black foam. Not necessary, but if it is, we just want to go ahead and peel that off. The reason we remove the fan is so that we can have easier access to that. Right, once you get far enough, you'll be able to see that there's a clip that goes around this copper pipe here. All we want to do is take a flathead screwdriver, get behind the clip, and pull it out. Once it's released, you can just pull that right out of there. Now though you see there's two black wires that run from this switch, we need to go ahead and remove them from the posts that they're attached to. If you follow along, you see that one will go to the top of the compressor here on the overload. Just go ahead and remove that. And as you see here, the second one is running along with the rest of these wires here. So we'll need to clip those zip ties and gain access to that. Alright, so now that we've located where that wire is, we want to find where it connects to the humidity controller knob. Verify we have the same wire by pulling back and forth. Now we need to go ahead and remove this grommet in here. We just go ahead and do that by pinching it and pushing it outwards. I'm going to use a needle nose pliers. And there we go. Now there's a split in this grommet. We want to take that wire and just slide it right out of that slit. Verify that we have the correct one. Remove it from the humidity controller knob and then just pull it out that side. Now that we have the old defrost thermostat switch pulled out, we want to go ahead and check that pipe. Make sure that we have the majority of that foam off of the pipe. This groove, the pipe will sit right in that. The clamp from the old defrost will clip into each side and hold that there. Just like that. Now, we just want to make sure that we route the wires correctly. One is going to go to the top of the compressor. We're going to put the other back through that hole with the grommet. And attach it back to the terminal it came off of. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and reinstall the humidity controller. Again, we had the little Phillips screws for this. Make sure not to over tighten. Next thing we want to do is reinstall that wire into this grommet. Again, you want to find the slice where it opens up and just slide it in there. Now push the grommet back into the spot it came out of. Next thing we're going to do is replace the cover on top of the compressor. This can be a little tricky. You want to line up the hole with the post. Make sure we put that ground wire back on there. Put the nut back on. Use the nut driver and tighten it. Now we'll want to go ahead and put the fan back in its position. We want to make sure that this slot is facing towards the compressor. Line up your holes. Use your 5/16 to replace the screws, holding that in the corners. Before we install the screws, we want to make sure to spin the fan. We don't want there to be any rubbing that you can hear. We want to take the rubber grommet, find the slit, slide it back into place. We'll go ahead and replace the guard. There's two hooks here and two slots. Line them up, push it back, and then reinstall the wing nuts. Just hand tight. Alright, now we just have to go ahead and wrap up the wires so that they're back out of the way. You want to wrap them up pretty close to exactly the way you took them apart. So now we want to bunch them up like this so that they're all kind of together and can be tucked away. We'll want to use zip ties, go around them. We'll want to go ahead and reinstall the sheaths over the wire. The little one is for the defrost thermostat wire, just leading to the whole bunch of the pile from the switch to where they all meet. We want to make sure to snip our zip tie ends. Reinstall the larger sheath. Then we need to go ahead and reinstall the P-clamp. We just want to go ahead and grab these defrost wires and the fan wire. Go ahead and slide that around them. It's the 5/16 socket again on a drill. Slide the screw through the P-clamp holes and then line it up and screw it back in. And now that we have the repair finished, we're going to want to go ahead and reassemble the unit. First thing we want to do is put the back panel back on. We want to run the cord through the access hole there. And then it just kind of sits in the lip of the bottom. You just push it down a little bit. Push it back. Go ahead and give it a little bit of assistance getting it back into place. I'm going to go ahead and install the screws along the side. Remember, there's 2 on each side and 4 on the top. Now we want to go ahead and reinstall the access panel. Go ahead and set it up there, and then replace the 6 screws. And the last thing to do is replace the humidity controller knob. Line up the flat spots and just push it right back on there. And now the repair is complete.